Good evening, good evening, good evening. I am Sentient Dessert. Welcome to my channel. Tonight, continuing with Sailing the Z in Sunless Sea. If you're unfamiliar with this game, it is a story-driven exploration type game. So, we're gonna get into it. Continue. I died last time I was here. So I've been reborn as a different captain and kept the same map. Mainly because money was associated with the map, and I had quite a bit of money on the last time. So, let us see where we're going today. We're going to explore far to the east, I think, today. Turn to London. Alright. You've earned the Admiralty's favor. The dark spectacled Admiral will see you now. That will come momentarily. London, she's the greatest city on the Undersea. See if we can get a surgeon. Clattery air. Plus 30 echoes. Welcome aboard. Officers. Surgeon. Your spot. Oh. Who is this patron? Is there a catch? He runs a very fine and very liberal establishment just across the river. What is much patronized by sailors and men of wit and vinegar. And public house. And there is no obligation to speak of. My patron would hope only that you might remember him kindly, and I suppose that if the opportunity should arise for you to return his kindness, then I do not imagine he would refuse your offer. Yeah, I'll accept the dispensation. I always like it. Gonna save me on fuel and supplies for a while. I have suspicion, though. London. The Carouse the Wolfsack docks. I run more crew. Yes, we will need to do that. Some point. Oh. Let's visit the university. Oh yes, the university's maritime liaison whispers breathlessly. Oh yes, this is quite a tasty one. Let me explain it to you. They explain, teeth glinting. Alarming scholar. The... Yeah, we'll do an outlandish artifact. I gained 100 echoes. We have something like that, they declare. But not very like that. Interesting. I have some ideas about suitable fees. Do one more artifact to see something like that. Same thing. And unlock anything else. So leave the university. Visit the Admiralty's office. Hunter's Keep. Yes. Then a bite. Wither. Apparently I'll show you to him very well. You're ushered into his office off Mansion's Pyre. cramped room with a vast desk. He surveys you across the desk. Ah, yes, the merchant captain of whom we hear so many complicated things. At the Parthenaeum Club, the Admiral dropped hints about your father, about his deplorable end. What does the Admiral know? Yes, there was certainly a report. Yes, there was a certain report. King Eater's castle, the empty temple at the end of the world. Your father went there. No one makes the pilgrimage there if they intend to return. One way or another, no pilgrim returns home. I have heard that they stay. I have also heard that they go on, somewhere even further. It is a regrettable place, Captain, the King Eater's castle, and its pilgrims do regrettable things if you go. Do not take any who are dear to you. Far southeast. Roser's Wharf. We can do anything. Nothing really. For lodgings. Read the morning paper. It's always good to get recent news when you come back so that you've got things to trade. Visit the shops. Buy Foxfire candles. Buy some apps. There have to be places where they sell for more here. I know that the mushroom wine will sell for 23. One of the places that cargo is relatively full. We currently have this engine power 800. Up. 17 fuel and 15 supplies. We're good on supplies for a while. Let's talk to our officer. Parts. What hearts actually do in the game? Inspire, heal, and defend. They both give hearts. In a straight trade, one of your best discoveries for one of hers. It's not hard to drive a bargain. She sits back after dinner and tells you this. Most people think that the hard part of surgery is finding what's wrong and taking it out. But any fool could do that. Ship's cook, with a cleaver, can have that part of the job. The hard part is cutting so you can sew it all back up. Again, afterwards. And she demonstrates on a shark fin, leaving it in better condition than it started. Right, we're going to set forth. And we're going to head to east a bit. I think east and south. Maybe out to 2 or 3 bars. By bars, I mean these lines. Welcome to the channel. Hope you enjoy. I know I'm gonna come across the fungal city when I go this way. Leftover remnants from my previous voyage. I just have to rediscover it. And I forgot to do something that I need to do. Always forget to repair. So I'll head out to that voyage momentarily. Oh. Perfectly natural explanation. Told myself the last time, prepare when you get set into dock. Forgot to do it. All right. I have anything to hide? Don't think I have anything to hide. Shipyard. Not shipyard. Shops. Unstamped crate of brilliant souls. Mount Palmerston. Okay, looks like I'm going to Palmerston again. London. Where is Dry dock. Here we go. Three favors, but I'll get them back. Instead of going south, I'm going to go north. I'm going to drop off this crate at Mount Palmerston so I can get the bonus at the end. I think I'm going to do a nice little triangle. I head north, hit Palmerston, and then from Palmerston head south till I hit the southern rim of the map, head back to the city. You'll see how things go. Welcome to the channel. Easy to keep a track on people joining and leaving when it's a slower paced game like this. Stopping for the harbor report. Get free fuel when going back. Oh, bat swarm. Putting the light off helps. They seem to be following a bit, but I seem to be I was outpacing them. You're not going to leave me alone. Not like these bats. Try to evade, take 20 damage. I think I prefer the jellyfish. Wonderful ambient music. Something drifts. Face down. Into the storm bones. Saint Eligus sends his fire. Dance in the air on the deck. Very far away, we can see the great line of the ragged crow. Huh. Don't recall coming across this before. Oh, no, 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 no. That thing notices me, I'm dead. Don't want to find out. Chapel of Lights to the northeast. One of the whirlpools. Chapel of Lights. Herd of faithful gather in the shadows between the many, many candles. A bell tolls in the chapel distance. Cracked iron laughter. Beware, the island is full of voices. Chapel's bounty. A nightmare to the well. Legend. Smiling priest in a red cassock tends the chapel. Congregation are shy of light. They come and go in little ships, and it's strangely difficult to count them. Perhaps some of them are imaginary. Still, you note the name of a ship or two. Smiling priest unlocks the door at the storehouse for you. Here, he says, eat, but take nothing away with you. They have shark steaks plucked from the sea, thin slices of cavern tuna translucent and delicate as paper, little crimson cakes flavored with cinnamon and coated with poppy seeds, tomatoes impossibly ripe and sweet, so far from the surface. Gorge yourself, leave with juices dripping on your chin. Perhaps not. I don't want to risk my... Yes, I don't want to whisk my eyes right now. Or I still have long before I sleep. Sailors at the rail call softly. Something swims beneath the ship. I saw it looking up at us, one says, his voice a tremble. Let's catch it. It comes dripping from the sea, sleek as a seal, but its eyes are faceted. One sailor covers his ears. I swear, he says afterwards, I heard it scream like a woman. Avid Horizon. Place to rest. Two vast winged shapes guard the gate of something like resin, smooth but it is deep. It is deep Gant, the color that remains when all of the colors have been eaten. Ice crusts over the cracks between its valves. Approach and your breath freezes. Falls tinkling in shards from the air. It would be utterly foolish to touch such. A merciless wind blows from everywhere to everywhere. It passes without effort through your bridge coat, your flesh, your lungs. Dock lies empty. What can be found on this bleak beach? A shipwreck. Beneath the black and freezing water, a ship lies rusting. Its hull has been torn like paper. Lifeberg's work. Some of the supplies and cargo are salvageable. Why were they bringing sapphires here? Supplies for fuel and 3 casks of sapphires. Fuck. Stillness. The stillness is itself of interest. The Admiralty. It is not impossible someone foolish might attempt to open the gate. It is not inconceivable that it might open from the other side. And what then? Your journey here may attract the attention of a certain patron. Report to the Admiralty of London to unlock a new story. Wonderful. Look to the stars. These are real stars. They burn above the roof of the Neath, beyond the earth, in the spaces of heaven. Even so far away, even now, their eyes are on you. But here in the night under the world, you are safe. Safe. You return to your senses, gasping. Your hands are cold, numb. How long were you watching the stars? Behind the ice. Yes. Yes, this is what the rumors meant. A hunter frozen in the ice, hands contorted, claws, mouth agape. Her left hand, she has plucked her own eye from the socket, lies very close to the surface of the ice. The stories are true, there's dark virtue in that eye. Take it then, but perhaps you should put it in a jar. Okay, I thought that I was using the same map, but I do not recall this being on the northern side. Maybe it was just the money that I kept. I was told by a previous viewer that uh, Mount Palmerston is always at the north. That is why I am up here searching. Encounter the winds again. Previous map, I only encountered these when I approached a certain city. But we shall see what happens here. Not a lifeberg, that is Inland. Ambrose Point. Mount Palmerston. Where we need to go to drop off that case of souls. Waits me in port. Let's see if anything unlocked here. Sullen lights glow green at the jetty's edge. Beyond the port buildings, the island is knee-deep in ash. There are ruins here and there of houses destroyed by fire. Far above, the mountain's top flickers red, just for an instant. Explore the island. Tangles of thorns scrub climb the rocky slopes of the volcano. There was an empty cliff top above the bleak waves. Now it blazes with color. Striped tents, colored flames, the music of pianola and kettle drums. Mustachioed women and languorous men play chess, carve bones, eat cats, and polish the terrifying brass weapons. These are Iron Republic privateers, pirates whose practices contravene the very laws of nature. They are numerous but lost to wine and music. You will have the element of surprise, but it's very hard to know exactly what those weapons will do. Your first volley does satisfyingly grievous damage, but a half-dozen privateers snatch up weapons. One is a sort of Gatling gun. One appears to fire bubbles composed of rainbow meat. What? A third makes it rain in your heart. Fourth weapon explodes in a shower of fat purple sparks that chirp like canaries and chew their way through everything in the encampment. Privateers, tents, loot. The battle is over before it has begun, but by the time it's safe to approach, sparks have devoured many of the privateers' treasures. Get the port report. They don't do us any harm. They stay up there and we stay down here. If hell's fighting itself, that's good for us, isn't it? Delivered my smuggled goods. Luck. Perhaps the villagers left valuables behind. Let's tempt fate again. Creases in your palms go grey with ash. Your crew coughs incessantly. You have found nothing but ruined fields and empty shelves. Perhaps not. Shops on Palmerston. There are a few. red. Eyes are a bit deep here. Right eyes. Found Mount Palmerston. Now we are going to head to the south. Cover along our way. Very relaxing game at times. One of those games that is fun to read in a variety of voices. Covered the ancestors we have here. Wolf. Bane of the Honey. Ancestors came to London long ago. The sailor runs to the rail, stripping off his clothes as he goes, homing rapturously. Home, home, he cries. Let us attempt to save him. After 20 minutes, your crew, waving and pleading, he slows, treading water, looks around him. You haul him aboard, he seems dazed. Bright, he says, so bright like home. Allowed to dock with the Clonate. Says this is a gate, so I'm going to enter through it. Like I can. Dock might be difficult. There's the dock. I'm quite curious what's here. Nights. In the watches of the night, you pad softly. Ignore them for now. On's glory. Here are the palaces of the Khan and his court, each a fortress to itself. Sleek lords and ladies in belted robes breakfast on balconies. An unlikely antelope peeks at you from the park. Guns rotate easily on motorized gimbals. I cannot offer not offer anything. Cruise the clan palaces. I've lost one hull. Sculpted curves of stone and silver, coral statues, a full salvo from a gun emplacement scars your bow. Turn back to the sanctioned harbor quickly. Shops, no shops available. Well. Certainly something new. Let's leave this place. Continue our voyage to the south. No, I am not going to fight that. However, Khan's shadow. Wanderer's Haven. How fortuitous. Something awaits me. Compile a port report, yes. Long ago the Khanate turned its back on warrior traditions. It had no place for pirates and would-be nomads. So here in the shadow, the exiles make their home, amid 100 wrecked, grounded, decommissioned ships. Souls. Although, have to wait. Traveler's Friend. Artifact self. Cry goes up, drownies in the water. The pale faces of the drowned dead bob up like lamps. They're singing. Brownies are drawn to fear like pickpockets to crowds. Stoke the engines as hot as they'll go. It will drown out their wretched song. Cause damage. Where's it? 8? Ooh. May not be able to make my entire trip. Shall see. Goes somewhat south. Scalpel. Unseal. Taciturn functionaries walk the docks. Uniform of postmen. An enormous crowned statue casts a chilling shadow. Shadows gleam with rats' eyes. Their ceaseless chittering rolls like the tide. Assemble a port report. Go to the postman's tavern. Faces turn in your direction, but no one seems surprised to have a new arrival on the island. Lit by two roaring fires, one at either end of the room, the bartender is in postman's uniform, like almost all the patrons. A noseless postal inspector called Blunt Thomas delivers the drinks, clears tables, stacks the firewood. You could remove the call from a postal worker. They wouldn't be a worker anymore, of course. On the postal tall tales, fishermen brag about the fish got away. That one. The hairless postwoman won't hear of it. Get one taker. I missed London, says. I'm tired. Inside of my mouth tastes like stamp glue. Aunt Thomas gives you a bottle of rum and the use of the basement. No amenities, but I don't fancy cleaning the blood off a better floor. Patient takes off his uniform for the last time and lies on the cold floor. No spectators. Oh, no spectators, says the clatterly air harshly, and puts you out of the room. Comes out later with a scrap of skin from the patient's chest. Patient follows with a spoon from Mahogany Hall. Right, on the postal tales. Delicate bottles lowered down chimneys on a rope. Do not feed under any circumstance. Letters curled through narrow slot. Rattling, groaning crates brought back on the same address every day for 22 days running. The windows they pried open, the servants they bribed, the delivery surcharges they paid out of their own salaries just to get rid of one more packet. Hard to tell which they hate more, the senders of mail or the recipients. Stands to reason. If the message was a welcome one, they'd tell the other fellow in person, reflects a hairless postwoman. Ask about the statue. Oh, that. It's all of us, isn't it? Sort of the spirit on the island. Most of them don't seem troubled, for more than an explanation than that. Though the hairless postwoman tells you it didn't always look like a fallen London postman at all. He used to have a different face, more old-fashioned outfit. Let's be rude. No, he says. Hurt. Not pleased you asked. Still had eyebrows when I came to Nuncio. Postwoman at the next bench diverts you. Speaks in a low voice. Lots of people find habits when they can't deliver the post anymore. This one had a plucking habit. Best learn not to notice. You glance up, the hairless postwoman is still glaring at you. The currency is rats. The hairless postwoman at the end of the bar smiles mirthlessly. Maybe it's just a lack of eyebrows that does it. Long enough carrying the things around, you get into the habit, she says. Then she tells you that if you stay out late enough, you'll see some of the postmen making a procession to the center of the island, bringing up rats around the statue like Yuletide decorations. Prayer to an ancient deity of this place. From the coughing and choking elsewhere in the pub, you'd guess this is a story they often tell to newcomers. How do they occupy themselves all day? Big building, center of town, hard to miss. You can work there too if you want. It's not clear whether this is a generous offer or a threat. Back to the docks. Explore along the beach first. Argue with the man holding a broom. Thought I had a Ratus fabris. Comatose ferret. Got it. In the long term, what you are doing won't make the slightest bit of difference. Every sodden bit of paper that you fling out to the sea will come back in a few hours. But for now, you managed to clear a little patch of shore, a few feet on each side. The stones are bare, as they should be. Your companion turns his head towards you, towards the sound of your work, and gives you a little nod. Collect materials for the dead letter office. You make your way along the shore with a big sack. Many of the envelopes are too damp to read, their addresses permanently lost. But a surprising number are still legible. There are also parcels. Here and there is a crate, a message in a wine bottle, a sealed cask that is bobbed up out of the shipwreck. Your sack ought to get heavy with all these contents, but it pulls upwards and away, straining inland toward the dead letter office like an unimaginable dog. Back to the door. Let's try a shift at the letter office. Sorry. Yawn. Blunt Thomas takes you around the office. A small collection room where those receiving letters may state their business. A much larger set of back offices where newly arrived letters and parcels are collected and sorted. A dank, briny smell that never goes away, presumably because so many of the parcels spent time in the water before they arrived here. The back room is a machine manned by a postal rat. A Ratus Faber in a pinstriped hat. It shovels sludged, damp letters into the machine's hopper and they come out dried, cleaned, pressed, and sorted into slots by size and quality of paper. Make a study of what goes on in the back, no. And the collections window. First with the postal rat. Postal rat is grateful and says so at length, and in a variety of ways. Only so much work to go around on Nuncio. He's asking to assist me here. Golly, I'm bad at keeping up with stuff. Only so much work to go around on Nuncio. She keeps asking to assist me here, but as you can see, a gesture at heaps of loose gears and unhooked chains, I hardly require any assistance, and my research is at so delicate a stage, but she's an excellent worker, very bright like her mother. Now have an assistant. "52 categories. After prolonged worrying, the machine begins to distribute. 7 invitations etched in gilt into correspondence of the aristocracy slot. 2 oversized parcels probably containing books into the books tray. 1 stamped bronze tablet that drops in the clang into a bin marked First City. Postal rat watches all of this with an air of satisfaction. Go to the basement. He's surprised by the request. Most postmen don't like it down there. No one ever asks for a key, but they'll cut you a new one. Just be careful in there, and come out of if you start feeling wrong. It is warm in my pocket. Go to the back rooms. You had expected a few shelves of supplies, more files of letters, a few years older. No, it is a pit, so deep that lantern light does not show the bottom. Spiral walkway descends along its wall. That spiral opens wider as it goes, as if you were looking at the narrow end of a very large shell. Lining this wall are shelves and nooks unevenly sized. Some are a few inches square and contain single scrolls of papyrus. Others support crates bigger than coffins. They're made of woody fungus, grown to meet requirements. Cool thing about that, they're actually using fungus to make packing material now, and it will grow to an appropriate shape before they eat it. It takes time, biodegradable, not reusable as easily. There are no marks of carpentry or any of the postal rat's handiwork. 3 turns down the spiral and you feel you can't breathe. Time to leave. You can come back later, maybe. They say that's been there since before we came. Before there were Londoners in the Neath. Before there was a dead letters office. There was someone else. And they built the last layer on top of what was there before, and so on. When you press him a little further, he says, I've been down there. Didn't like it much. But I wanted to test my machine. Thought if it could handle some of the very old dead letters, that would be a good sign. You know, evidence the machine was in working order. Good, strong sorting categories and so forth. He pauses. There's letters down there that set your hair on fire if you so much as look at them. The bald patch on my left leg? That wasn't a machine accident. Oh no, that singed right off as soon as I put my nose into one of them letters. End my shift. Striking the ground causes the stones to shift and rattle. It is hard at first to hear anything more than that. But if you try long enough, strike hard enough, the whole beach shivers like the surface of a drum. Flotsam letters quiver and align themselves in concentric circles around the point of impact. The next wave brings ashore 3 or 4 times the usual freight. That place is kind of, my fuel. This is a little terrifying. I think we're gonna head back to London right now. Here's hoping we do not run across anything that waylays us. Pink Nodal Vortex. What a name. Don't appreciate your following of me. A light ship. and see if there's anything at this one. Jellyfish. Speak to the crew. The bleaching glare of the lens, among the smells of oil and metal, you sip and chat. Terror feeds. Bats. Away from me, bats. Like you. I never had south in this station. Southwest. And crab over there. Don't want to fight that thing. Station 3. Machinery hums behind high steel walls. Up the hill there are visible outlines of warehouses and a building with a spire. But the lamps are low where they burn at all. Your ship is the only one in the harbor. Ah yes. I think that's the highest my terror has ever been. Abbey Rock and the Sister. Interesting. Black spit of an island far away from anywhere anyone would want to go, and that's how the Sisterhood likes it. Here stands their fortress convent. There are bear traps that look friendlier than this. Tyler report. Nothing is happening. The sisters watch us. We feel their eyes. He crashes on the rocks. Withdraws. The fortress stands solid as the last year of century. Greatest peril you risk here is certain purpleness of rose. Like huge and deadly herons, the sisters stalk along the very tops of the walls. You watch through a spyglass as they leap and whirl, slashing at each other with a variety of frightening weapons. One of them just turned a somersault. The Sisterhood respects two things: unswerving decades of fidelity to a wholly secret purpose, and the ability to shoot straight. Perhaps you can demonstrate the second. The muscular prioress inspects your trophy. I'll put it with the others, he says. Her tone suggests grudging respect. You, and no more than 3 sailors, are invited to dine with them that evening. As you do, on black lavered bread and overcooked cavern trout, among fierce women with spiked rosaries, one of them hacks up her trout with an axe. But at the end of the evening, when the plates are cleared away, the room goes quiet. Tall nun with a startling strabimus sings in a rich, deep voice, like a stolen sunset, about the hills of her homeland far above. Firelight flickers on the faces of your crew. I have Stone's attention. Perhaps not. No shops. Close to each other. Those ships throng the waters here. Crew grows wistful. Swap old stories of sunlit sea. We draw near to the main canal, way to the surface. Gleaming, it rises from the sea. It coils lazily around a sailor. It does not speak or cry out. He only steps into its embrace and is gone. He is quiet, nothing stirs, but you saw the moon-pale limb of the monster. Was it there? Did the sailor leap? Surely you didn't push her. Surely. Humane Canal staging area. Listen for surface gossip. The card game ends badly when one of the surface sailors knifes another for the usual reasons. The other players scrabble for the coins that spill from her pockets, but you snatch up a scrap of paper they overlook. Curious markings, dates, times, codenames. Eyes work. Now the report. Shops. We're going to return to London. Settle in. Hello there, island. I think you want to give us a report. Waker's Haven. I'm gonna take the cat. Cat to the fisherman. Pirates playing the waves. Smugglers at their work on 8 ships. Under the shore. Taking a stroll along the beach, perhaps the Z has brought you something. Driftwood. Something glinting. But there's a message in the bottle, a page, a journal. The writer has described a debauched afternoon in a thrilling detail. Who threw this in the Z? Was it some botched attempt at blackmail, or a love affair gone sour? The trees of the neath are scraggly and wretched. Scraping... Oh, I can't read. The trees of the neath are scraggly and wretched, scraping a living with paracenthesis. But the apples of Mutton Island are tart and powerful, perfect for cider. Cider? Cider. This stuff is stronger than it looks. You stretch out on your seat, stare through the leaded window at your safely moored ship, find yourself whistling. The landlord gives you a friendly grin and goes back to whetting his cleaver. Oops. For those that have watched the previous videos, Waker's Haven seems to be a hotbed for cannibalism. At least at certain parts in the storyline. Great, now it's going to take longer to get back to London. Because my terror is so high. So close. The game is trying to tell me don't stop when you reach London. I'm afraid I'm going to have to stop when I get to London. So close. So close. Fear and despair have destroyed the loyalty of your crew. Half of those who remain have taken up arms against you, taken shelter in the bridge while their shots ring out around you. Cowards, villains! Attempt to win them round. You're their only hope of reaching home. We're like If we hadn't lost that last sailor, we would have been here already. Think you're getting through to them. Leader mutineer nod in understanding and lowers stolen rifle. Step out of cover, your arms raised, and a shot from above the companions topples you. The false stars above are the last thing you see. They're beautiful. It didn't say that I was going to fail. I am not happy with it. I am not bloody well happy with this. That far from making it back into port. Oh, I'm gonna try to beat out of this. Hopefully it doesn't save immediately if stuff happens. So, I splash for a moment. See where it puts me. I'm bothered by that just because of sessions that have gotten like, oh, you're dead. I am not. I was never the person that enjoyed the choose your own adventure stories where, you know, 3 pages in, you've ended the story. You're going to see when it last auto-saved. If it's there, then I'm not sure if I'm going to be... Very frustrating just getting a few steps out. Okay, Quaker's Haven is where we were at last. Okay. So, we're back. We're going to make our way to London. Hopefully if we don't get another person taken off the deck, we'll be fine. But I think at 95, that's what's going to happen. Go after him. Yes. We need that extra strength to make it there before terror hits 100 and game over. I kind of would like a different mechanic for that. It seems like a mutiny at 100 terror just seems like a no-win mutiny. Okay. We've made it back to London after stopping a horrible ending. I don't have anything to hide. Right. The game is safe now. I don't like doing stuff like that, but at the same time, I want to play farther than just the beginning. No one enjoys playing the Give me a second, my brain is having issues. I can't think of the word. No one... Okay, I'm not gonna say no one, but few people enjoy having to play the tutorial every single time they start a game. And it's one of those things that, you know, if you go back to play a game, you want to be able to skip the tutorial. And that's what it feels like when you put in a couple of hours into the game and then you have to start over from nothing. Or not so much nothing, but it's still nothing in this game in my opinion. So that's one reason that I did what I did. So we'll be continuing this again next Thursday. I hope you did enjoy what was here. Sorry about my frustrations. It's finding the interesting storylines and wanting to follow them and then having them cut short. So, if you did enjoy, please subscribe. If you don't, I'm not going to hold it against you. Kind out there. Have a good solar cycle. Take care of yourselves. Take care of others. Be safe. I love you. I love you all. I will see you tomorrow night. I don't know what I'm playing tomorrow night yet. I'm going to try... I think Friday should be the day for something new. Something that I haven't played before, that I just want to give it a sample, so tomorrow is probably going to be Dessert First. So tune in for that, and I will see you later.